Hello guys and welcome back to this new episode. So today we are going to talk about sweat, and precisely we do have something like 12 unknown facts about sweat. So let's start immediately. First of all, we have to say, point number one, that the sweat has a lot of benefits and basically saves our lives. That is because we breathe more quickly. We through sweating improve the work of our heart. It improves blood circulation. Metabolism is accelerated because of the fact that we sweat, and also we eliminate toxins and other impurity from our body. Plus, it heats up our body so that basically we produce more of those particles that will help us in the long run to protect and defend us from infections, virus, bacteria. It warms, it heats up our body, so our body produces more white blood cells, and those improve our defense, our immune defense system, so that we are more capable of defending ourselves from bacteria, viruses, and whatnot. Point number two. The sweat that we produce because we are stressed is very different from the sweat that we produce in other situations. For instance, when we work out or because it is hot outside. So those are three chemically different types of sweat. Point number four. Sweat does not really have odor because it's basically water, a bit salty, that contains mineral salts. So mineral salts are like chlorine, potassium, and sodium, right? So what is it exactly that produces the bad smell that we perceive and that we can all smell indeed? That is the milky secretion. Milky secretion, that is a mixture of water, proteins, sugar, and iron, and is produced by apocrine glands. Now, those apocrine glands are drowned in air follicles, and that is the receptacle, the ideal receptacle for bacteria, and that is overall what gives us that horrible smell when we sweat, reason why we have deodorants, perfume, and so many other products. Now, point number four. In 1960, in the competition for the office, right, when Nixon faced Kennedy, it is said that Kennedy won over Nixon because Nixon sweated too much during the debates. That was perceived as a synonym for stress, as a synonym for, somebody who's uncertain of their answers, and so most likely that was some sort of factor in as kind of like subliminal message that was sent out, not purposely of course, but it was sent out to the audience that was watching the debate, and that was communicating to them that Nixon is not the ideal candidate. Now, even if we don't work out, we do lose between 1 and 2 liters of water through sweat, and that is like 2 to 6% of our body weight, and it's mostly water, right? So we can lose a lot of weight just by losing water, but that would lead us to a situation where we are dehydrated, and that's also not a very good thing. So point number 6, animals do sweat. Specifically, let's talk about hippos. Now there's a cute picture here. Hippos do sweat. Specifically, they produce a red substance that is wonderful apparently for sun creams, and also beautiful as a repellent for insects. I also need to add that even horses sweat, specifically from their armpits, and also cows, they do sweat, but from their nose. Things that I didn't know, and I don't know how on earth that I have missed those important factors. Alright, point number 7. So point number 7 is that we are attracted to the sweat. Specifically, as women, we are attracted to the male sweat. It sends us messages to our hypothalamus, which is this region in our brain that is devoted to the control of visceral functions, right? And that is exactly the reason why when we like somebody, we like their smell. We want to have their smell. So that's very important, right? Especially, but I think that also works the other way around, meaning I think that there's something going on with smell also for female. It's very important for men to like the smell of somebody, so like they smell their hair, for instance. So maybe it's not so much the body, but it's more the shampoo. I actually have no idea, but I think the body odor is very, very important in the interactions, right? We might not like somebody because we don't like their smell, so watch out for that. All right, now point number 8. We do have between 2 and 4 million glands that are dedicated exactly to allow us to sweat. Alright, now women have more glands, however men sweat more. Have no absolutely idea why that is so, but I know that it's so, kind of. I mean, I take for granted what researchers told me, but anyway. Alright, that's not a very good use of my critical thinking, but I guess that my critical thinking stops whenever I don't know things. Anyway, point number 9. Point number 9, sweat is mostly salty. Now, we have said that previously. We have said that it contains a lot of mineral salts, so we do need to reintegrate those. And that is also visible in the white stripes. Those are electrolytes that we lose in daily activities just by walking or sitting down. And then point number 10. We have something that's called hyperhidrosis, right? That is something that affects 3% of population. And that is basically when people sweat a lot more than normal. Now, it is true that when you get to the age of 60, right, you start sweating less and less. But that is also why you have heat waves. So, you know, sweating is so important because it prevents us from having heat waves, from feeling, all over the place or all over the shop, and from, feeling completely like lacking of energy, as if something like a wave of heat is impacting on our face, right? So that's very important. Finally, which would be point number 12. That was a test. The thing that I like the most about this test is probably one that happened. It was in the middle of the Second World War. Now, I don't know why I'm laughing, because I think, that's so, not congruous with whatever was going on in the rest of the world. But this is an experiment carried out in the US, right? Actually, in the middle of the Californian desert, to which, again, it's like California is truly another state per se. Anyway, there was a group of volunteers in the middle of the desert, right? And there were, actually, this group was divided up into 3 different groups. One of them would wear like a uniform that was green. One would wear the uniform that was beige, like ivory sort of. And then the third one was naked. Now, what has been shown in this experiment is that the people that were actually naked sweated the most. That is because clothing protects us from sweating so much. Now, it seems unbelievable, right? And it's not like that, which is, paradoxical. But the idea is that when we protect the surface, we don't let our body surface be exposed so much to heat, and so we protect it. Now, there is a huge difference between protecting with very large clothing, so that, hair could come in and go out, and we could be like, all chilled, and the fashion, models and designs that we have nowadays, they are very tight. Now, they might be very sexy, and what not, but they will make us sweat more, not less, because it's the direct contact with the skin that would just irritate our skin most of the times. And when it does not really irritate us, you know, it's the constant rubbing, you know, and we don't let really our skin breathe whenever we wear those type of clothing. So with that reminder, guys, I want to actually know what you think about all of this. So please, please, please don't forget to comment below. Let us know your thoughts, which is very important to us so that we can, again, exercise our critical thinking. Let us know what you believe, what you think of this bunch of data, of information that I've given you. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed the video, to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the notification bell so that you can receive every new update, every new notification about every new video. Now, that might sound like a threat, hopefully it's not. Now, with that being said, guys, peace. We'll talk some more next time.